at the United States Post Office and has over 30 years experience in printing and mailing. And he's an experienced direct mail and marketing strategist here in Columbus, Ohio. And we are super excited to hear about the postal incentives for the rest of 2020. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Terry. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for Millcraft for having me. Today I wanted to cover, some of you may know of the United States Postal Service promotions that we have had actually since 2015. We've run them every year for business mailers to take advantage of, with the exception of 2018. We dropped and did not have the promotions, but have had them running the last several years since 2015. The purpose of them, and a lot of people say, well, why do you have mailing promotions? The purpose is to help mailers incentivize customers to use unique tools and basically help merge direct mail with digital and make it more viable, because the Postal Service, obviously, direct mail is declining. That's no secret. Our package business, however, is increasing incrementally to cover that. But direct mail, we have a very real interest and need to keep direct mail viable and current and relevant in today's marketing and business environment. So therefore, that's why the promotions were instituted back in 2015. They've gone through some reiterations and modifications, but we're going to walk through briefly on the front end all of them, but we're going to focus today on two primary ones, and that's tactile, sensory, and interactive promotion, and the emerging and advanced technology promotion, both which should be of interest to you as designers, marketing folks, and production people. So with that, we'll get started. Let me flip to my screen. I have a couple of slides, but we'll also feel free to stop, ask questions. Jill and Terry have some samples and examples to share with you as well. So we'll make this very interactive, but want to share some information with you on the screen. All right. There's my... Great. Let me get it. I had it loaded up and it went away. Technology, where? Hello. Sorry about that. I had it loaded up and I don't know why I can't pull it up right away. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. All right. Now I can't. There we go. Finally. Okay, sorry about that. All right, the first one's tactile, sensory, and interactive promotion is basically offering the ability to have use of advanced print innovations in paper stock.
Dan,
yes,
Dan,
go ahead.
I don't know if anybody else can actually see your slides, but I'm not seeing your slides.
No, it's just a dark screen.
Oh, it says your screen is paused. So how do I get it off unpause? Let me put stop share and share again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Terry. So the tactile, sensory, interactive promotion allows you to have paper stock, substrates, inks, interactive elements, and finishing techniques. And we'll go into more details on those in just a minute. But this gives you a 2% discount to use this technique, use this promotion, and use it in any of the mailings that you're doing. Why is this doing this to me? There we go. Okay, well, we just jumped ahead. Emerging and advanced technology promotion helps you use tools to link digital, such as augmented reality and near field communication, and enhanced virtual reality scenarios to bring that element into direct mail pieces that you may be doing. The next one's earned value promotion. That's a fancy name for business reply mail, courtesy reply mail. That promotion has already started. The registration is done, but it started March 1st, and discounts are available for business reply mail and courtesy reply mail as well. Personalized color Transpromo, that basically is for utility statements, billing statements from insurance companies or hospitals or what have you. It would come out in black and white, and this is encouraging mailers to put use color in the piece, or use some type of marketing message or insert, and they get a discount for doing that. Then the informed delivery promotion, and just touch on that briefly. Hopefully all of you, most or not, if not all of you, know of the informed delivery service that the Postal Service has, where you have the ability to, as a consumer, see in advance what's going to be in your mailbox that day. And business mailers have the chance to make an enhanced campaign that links digitally into people's direct mail piece that they are sent. And if anybody needs more information on that, I know Jill and Terry, we could have an entire session just on that, but it's a really nice tool. If you're not familiar with it, you definitely need to get familiar with it. And finally, mobile shopping, that promotion, as you'll see on the calendar in a little bit, runs later in the year, so it captures the holiday time frame. And that's simply linking a shopping cart or e-commerce to a mailing piece, and that makes it eligible for a 2% postage discount as well. So with that, let's launch into the tactile, sensory, and interactive. Okay, with the tactile, sensory, and interactive promotion, there's actually 5 different areas that you can get promotions for. Is specialty inks, and that's use of any type of inks that such as that have sensory elements to them. And they can be, I didn't find that out, Terry, but it may include metallic inks, but I think that would be one because it's scratch and sniff, scented inks. Those would count toward this promotion. Sensory elements are part of that as well. If you use a scratch and sniff coating, anything that would engage in customers having the ability to interact with the piece with a scent. And that could be put on through the paper or through a coating. I'm sorry, let me jump back up to the top. Specialty inks, I want to tell you, conductive inks that have circuits, some of you may have seen in the past, where you can touch a piece and it actually uses your body electricity to conduct and actually light up something or have something electronically in the piece light up. There's also thermochromatics, which is heat sensitive. If you blow on it or touch it, it changes the perspective. Photochromatic changes to UV light exposure if a piece is held out in the light, if it has an interactive change element to it. Optically variable ink has metallic materials that change appearance when looked at kind of like lenticular from different angles. And then piezochromic, which changes under pressure. There's actually inks and papers that are pressure sensitive, so if you squeeze them, they'll change characteristics. And finally, hydrochromic, which changes appearance when it's exposed to water or any other liquids. Okay, sensory elements we talked about. Textual papers. There, as I said, scented paper. Believe it or not, Terry was surprised to mention this. Paste, anything that incorporates edible papers, and there are edible paper stocks. I don't know why you'd want to use them, but if you want to incorporate edible papers into a promotional piece, you can do that.
It is desperate times, you know, Dan.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe somebody would appreciate getting a piece like that. Visual paper that incorporates special effects like filters, hieroglyphic or lenticular. And then textual, of course. That paper would incorporate textural treatments that can be sensed by touch. The surface can be a coating, or it can be unique characteristics embedded into the paper itself. That gives it a sandpaper feel or soft velvet touch like Soft Touch Aqueous. So coatings can also be part of that. Okay, and dimensional elements. These are anything that would have unique 3D builds on them, pop-ups, infinite folding. We'll talk a little bit more about that. They do not include, as it used to in the past, but they've tightened up the restrictions a little more this year. Half folds, tri-folds, gate folds, iron cross, and accordion folds do not qualify. So anything that includes a physically manipulative tool, such as twist, spin, dial, pull, bend, would be considered an interactive mail piece. I think we have some examples that Terry and Jill wanted to share. And who wants to go first? Terry, you want to do your fold? Your mute's on. There you go.
I'm here. All right, can you see me? I'm going to go to speaker view, see if that helps. Does that help? All right, can you see me? Because I can't see me.
Oh, good.
Okay, so this is the fold that we showed from the Fold Factory last week. It's called the Roundabout, and it's really cool because it goes like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, all the way around. It's actually two pieces, and one panel is glued together, and it just makes a complete rounded piece. So we thought that was super cool. The other piece I have is from EnvyPack, which is a poly envelope. And if you'll look at the car as I pull this out, the poly envelope is actually printed on the inside, so the color of the card changes as I pull it out. So as you can see, the inside of the envelope is actually printed with that yellow. So I'll show you that again. Pretty cool, right? So those are my samples.
Okay. And Jill, I think we were going to talk about a sample that we call TED-C, which indicates trailing edge technology, where a mail piece they just implemented that this year, where a mail piece can have a trailing edge on it. It's hard to do that on a camera when everything's reversed. And it can be die cut. So it's very unique. I think Millcraft has some samples, and Jill was going to share those with you. But the criteria for the mail piece, it must contain 4 90-degree corners, not including the trailing edge. Die cut must only be on the trailing edge. Die cut cannot exceed more than 5/8 of an inch from the left trailing edge, the address side. And die cut design must start 0.3 inches from both top and bottom edges, so it needs to be inset a little bit so you have an edge. So Jill, do you want to share those?
Sure. So let me attempt to share my screen. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm hoping, can you all see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is an example of props, first of all, to my coworker, Steve Grubich. He had showed me these trailing edge envelopes. And actually, these are proprietary. He was working with a vendor called JBM Packaging. He shared this with me maybe about a month ago in the office. I thought they were so cool. But if you can see, the shapes are actually leading that edge. And they are, I'm going to pop up another one now. So they stick out from the side of the envelope, which gives it this really awesome dimensionality and tactility. Definitely garners, you know, the recipient's attention. It is something I have not seen done a ton before. I love that there's a promotion around this, because I think when I start to think about the current situation we're in and how as businesses and brands we begin to come out of this, look, direct mail was super important before this. I just think it's going to be 10x that as we move forward. In any way that we can, as businesses, as brands, as marketers, use some of these mail promotions to let's maximize our budget, but also get that kind of engagement. Anything that can give us an edge, I think, is really important to do. And when I see these samples, it makes it feel much more approachable to me. And again, when we get back into the office, we've been working with our suppliers, so we should have some samples to be able to share. So if you are working on a project and you would like to learn a little bit more about the trailing edge, or this, for JBM, they call these shape envelopes, but it's their proprietary label for it, but it's the same technology. We are happy to share that with you. Just ask your Millcraft rep.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks.
Dan, there was a question about the pop-up. Does the pop-out envelope need special mailing, or does it end up, how does it end up when the consumer receives it? And she's working on the image.
That's a good question. Most pop-ups I've seen are actually sent in an envelope. Now, they don't have to be. They could be sealed if they lay flat enough. But you can send it in an envelope, or it could be a wafer seal piece that's, obviously flat. In fact, didn't we have the pop-ups? Oh, I didn't put that slide in, I don't think. Had some examples. I thought I had a pop-up slide in here, but I guess I don't. But yeah, it can be a flat mail piece. I have seen a couple done like that. That as soon as you get the piece, you tear the wafer seal or seal on it, open it up, or sometimes it's perfed. I've seen them where they're manufactured where you have to break the perf and then open it up. So there's a number of ways to construct it. You have to have it so it is sealed and flat to go through the mail, because it would be, processed. Unless you wanted to pay the additional. Now there is a misnomer, and I'm glad you brought that up, Terry, because I want to tell everybody, anything can be mailed. I know a lot of people go, wow, is that right? Anything can be mailed. You can mail a coconut in the mail. Now it's going to cost more to do that. Usually people want to send a flat letter size piece that's going to get the best postage rate. But if you wanted to go non-machinable and get a little exotic, that can be done. You're going to pay a higher postage rate, but there is the ability to do that if you want to kind of go outside the parameters. But if you're looking to send a pop-up mailer, it can be done in an envelope or as a flat piece that is sealed in some fashion or manner. That answer your question, Terry? Or whoever asked.
Joan, is that answering your question? You can unmute yourself. Okay, we'll move on.
Okay.
You can come back.
Okay. All right. Back to the screen.
Also, there was a question in here, Dan, as well, on case studies. If you have case studies with metrics associated with any of the pieces for the incentives that could be shared.
I'm sorry, if what?
If you have case studies with any ROIs or percentage returns or anything that can be shared for some of the things that the incentives offer.
Yeah, I would love to do that, Courtney, and you and I as marketers would think that the Postal Service would have that, but believe it or not, I have some articles that are going to be coming out from Target Marketing that Terry and Jill are going to send out after the presentation on both of the tactile and the emerging advanced technology. But unfortunately, the Postal Service makes it a policy not to provide ROI or reports. Or we get reports on informed delivery as far as the weekly and monthly numbers of subscribers. We're not even technically supposed to share that, although I do usually with my customers. But we're not allowed to collect data like that, unfortunately.
No worries. And Maureen, we do have some case studies that are related to, as Dan had mentioned, tactile and color, and some ROI numbers. We have some things with a couple mail partners, so we'll make sure and share those with you at least too. Thanks, Dean.
That's great. Good. Yeah, you're definitely, if you have some reporting, some statistics on it, that's great. Okay. I always get tough starting this back up. There we go. I do have these interactive mail pieces in here. So here, this tells you a little more about, as I mentioned, the simple folds, half folds, trifolds, gatefolds, iron cross, and accordion do not qualify. Here's a couple of examples, like a 3D piece, a pop-up, and then a couple of pop-ups there for you. And then the infinite folding is like the sample that Terry shared with you. But if you notice, this one is an actual gift card mailer from the Limited, the chocolate brown one there with the pink ribbon on it, which is a very unique and very, it was a very well-received mailing that the Limited did.
Hey, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Joan is asking, does the pop-out envelope need special mailing? How does it end up when the consumer receives? Is it damaged? Can you address any of that?
It shouldn't be damaged. No, I mean, if it's in an envelope or if it's self-contained, either way. I mean, one of the things that we do is we'll take the piece and do some testing on it to make sure that it doesn't get ripped or torn in mail handling. Of course, a way to avoid that is to make it non-machinable and pay for that. And I have customers that have done that when they have a specialty mailing that they're sending out, that they want to pay the additional fee so it's not processed through the mail handling equipment. Especially if you're doing a smaller mailing, if you're doing a 500 or 1,000 or 1,500 specialty, like a special invite or something like that, the additional fee isn't that great that you wouldn't be able to do the non-machinable. That makes sense? Okay.
Yes. And then just because you brought it up, I think we covered this earlier, but are there any minimums to this, to any of the promotions?
Well, this would be for business mailings, and business mailings constitute for marketing for first class 200 pieces. Marketing mail is 500 pieces. So as long as you're doing that, those are considered business class mailings. So if you're doing 200 first class or 500 marketing mail, they would qualify. Those are kind of your set minimums.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, this talked a little bit about the TED. We covered that. I forgot we had slides for these too, but your slide was much better, Jill. Okay, we can screw that. Okay, next one, emerging and advanced technology. There's actually 7 categories. There used to be just 5, but we've added a couple this year. The first, of course, is enhanced augmented reality, and that's the view of the physical real-world environment with elements are augmented or supplemented by computer-generated overlays in 3D real-time. I would assume most of you have heard, obviously, virtual reality, augmented reality, or have seen demos. We're going to show you a video in a minute. Unfortunately, it doesn't have sound with it, but you will be getting a copy of it that you can listen on your own player. The next is video and print. It is expensive because it actually takes a mini, what I call mini flat TV, and embeds it into a piece. And that is something that some car manufacturers like Cadillac and Mercedes have done on high-end pieces. Obviously, it's costly to do, but it is eligible for a discount. The third is integration with voice assistants. That would be like this is new this year, to include Siri and Alexa, Google Home, Nest, any of the video voice assistants. Direct mail can be addressed to those. Digital direct mail encourages production of mail pieces by using dynamically printed personalized messaging that are automatically triggered based on a digital interaction. Show you some examples of that. Mixed reality, where you're actually using augmented reality and virtual reality together, and combines experiences being blending physical and virtual experiences via headset. And that's new this year too. And then of course, virtual reality, which is straight up replicates, it creates a real or simulated environment that the user recipient has and allows us for a user interaction in that environment. And last but not least, near field communication, which is much like when you go to the gas station. They have mobile gas stations have it where you can tap and pay for your gas. That's with an embedded antenna chip, and that can be done in printed pieces as well. That's also fairly costly of all the options here. Okay. I'm going to share this video with you. Unfortunately, this we couldn't get the sound to work, but this is for Allegiant Marketing Group, AMG, out of Oklahoma, put this 1-minute clip together. And as I said, this along with another video, well, I'll get into that.
No sound coming from the video.
Yeah, Evan, we couldn't get it to work. Dan, we're going to send that with our follow-up, so everybody will get the videos, this one and another one, in a link as a follow-up later.
So as Terry said, we'll send you this clip along with another one that was done by 900-pound creative out of Dallas, Texas for Vespa. That actually is a Vespa catalog that launches on one of their pages, a 3D image of a Vespa. It pops up out 3D and actually runs around the page. Very interesting. So when you get those, take a minute to look. Both of them are just 1-minute little video clips to show augmented reality. And by the way, people over the last couple of years have, especially designers and marketing people, have kind of shied away from it, augmented reality, because they fear it's too expensive and hard for recipients to interact with. Well, now you have a lot of free tools. There's Blipper and Layer, which are free apps. And also Apple and Google have just recently announced new augmented reality programs that are built in on their platform. So augmented reality is really easy to access. It's a game changer. It's honestly a way to interact and show people. I remember the very first augmented piece I saw was from car manufacturer Hyundai for their Sonata. And Gad, that's probably been 8 or 10 years ago. And it literally had a 3D image of the car, 3D visual image of the car pop up on your phone, and you could move it around. And of course, they had the gimmicky stuff, the honk your horn, turn the headlights off and on. You could even turn the radio off and on. But what was really beneficial and useful for the tool was you could change the color of the vehicle. So you could see the car in black and red and green and white. And to me, that was good. That gave an interactive experience for people to see what the vehicle would look like in the color of their choice. So if it's used correctly, the tool can really provide a strong connection, engagement, and be a useful resource for someone to work with. So,
Hey, Dan.
Go ahead.
I think you may have addressed this, but there's a question from Melanie. And I know I've personally experienced this too. We looked into augmented reality a few years ago, but worried the end user wouldn't follow through with downloading an app to view. Do you have any suggestions? And I know you mentioned Google. Yeah,
well, as I said, yeah, they would, for the Blipper and Layer apps, they do have to go in and request those. They're free. But some of the new technology that Apple and Google are coming out with now, that's automatically built in to their platforms now, so they don't have to download it.
Good.
So,
anything that's frictionless is good.
Correct. The easier, the better. I agree. So, as I said, 3D elements or modules for augmented reality, animation, interactive play between a physical mail piece and the digital activity. the person from a person's perspective, any of that would qualify for the promotional discount. There's also a irresistible mail, augmented reality. You have a special USPS page that shows a lot more examples of that. So, you know, utilize the videos and enjoy, you know, when you have a chance to view those, enjoy those. And you'll hear the music, which is good too. Gonna try and launch again. There we go. Okay, there's what we're gonna send you those links. Video and print. This is a piece that was done for the Corvette and actually had the embedded video in it. That's like a little flat TV that just plays a loop. Obviously, this technology is very expensive. I've had people ask me, okay, if I was to do 2,500 brochures, what would this cost to do this? And it runs about, believe it or not, 25, I think it was quoted to me like $20, $25 a unit. To add that into that brochure, you're paying $25 for that little TV unit. So you have to have a client that has a good sized budget to do something like that. But there are high-end customers that have done it. I want to give you an example. This is a live example of a printed piece that Bed Bath & Beyond did with the for the integration voice assistant discount under this. And it was a mail piece that they, Bed Bath & Beyond sends out a weekly tip of the day, or excuse me, a daily tip of the day. And this basically drove consumers to go to their Siri or Alexis and say, hey, Google, tell me the Bed Bath & Beyond tip of the day. And, you know, once people got in their habit of doing it, they started their morning with it. So it was a nice little add-on. And Bed Bath & Beyond got some good play out of that. So this is eligible. Okay, well, I'm going to go back one. All right. So I want to just touch on a couple of the last ones. Other advanced technologies. Digital direct mail encourages production of mail pieces to use dramatically printed personalized messaging that's automatically triggered based on digital interaction. So if you get a personalized piece with a landing page on it and you go to that, that would qualify. Mixed reality, as I said earlier, combines both virtual and augmented, and it can be through sight, sound, touch. Common mixed reality experiences include physical and virtual experiences via a headset. So this would be one where people are wearing a virtual reality headset. And the near field communication enables smartphones and other devices to establish radio communication by proximity or when you tap it. So Walmart used near field communication a couple of years ago for in-store sales campaigns. As you walk by a particular kiosk or end cap, it would actually light up your phone and tell you, hey, these sweaters are 20% off. So it can be done by somebody driving it. So, okay. Before we get to the calendar, some things to keep in mind when you're looking to submit for a promotion. Plan in advance. The promotions may have complicated technology. Not necessarily on your end, but if we're going to review them, it could take several iterations for us to review it and get approval on it and for us to give you feedback. Schedule a call with the promotions office if unsure if the technology will qualify, and determine a central point of contact, because what you'll find is going back and forth. We'll need a central point of contact to communicate to. And one size doesn't fit all. I just want to warn you that if you have an existing video or technology, doesn't mean it's necessarily going to meet requirements. So double check first before moving ahead. Submit the mail piece to the proper promotions inbox when you go on USPS.com. Each category, each of the different, tactile, emerging advanced technology, personalized color promo, the mobile shopping, the informed delivery, all have their own mailboxes to submit for campaign. And then get a formal email response. I don't think I need to tell all you that you need to get confirmation before moving ahead so you don't get caught or blindsided. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna, oh, it did it to me again. Can you see that? Okay. There we go.
There you go.
This is the 2020 mailing promotions calendar. All you're going to get sent this after the call today. It shows you the timelines just real quickly on the front end. It shows the registration periods, earned value. As I said, that's the business reply mail, courtesy reply mail has already, the registration period's over. It's running April, May, and June. Current right now, if you jump, and you notice that's for first class, as is personalized color Transpromo for billing statements. The second category, the marketing mail in first class, emerging advanced technology. That registration period started January 15th. It runs all the way through August 31st when the promotion ends. And that's linking in the AR, VR, near field technology. And that's eligible for the 2% discount, as well as informed delivery. That registration period is coming up July 15th and November 30th. And then any mailings that you do that incorporate informed delivery during that period or during the March 1st to August 31st, incorporating emerging and advanced technology, will be eligible. And then marketing mail by itself, tactile, sensory, and interactive engagement. Registration started back in December. It runs through July 31st. And any mailings done during that 6-month period would be eligible for the 2% postage discount. And finally, mobile shopping. That's coming up, as I said, year end for e-commerce and shopping cart links to direct mail.
Dan,
yeah.
It's Terry.
Sure.
Tell them where they can find this on the website.
Well, if you go to USPS.com, there's tabs across the top. Our general website, across the top, there's drop-down tabs. One of them's business. Click on that, and it'll give you all the business related. You can find that at the bottom of the page as well, the general landing page. It says business promotions down at the bottom. So it is available on our general website. I was going to make one other point about, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, oh, I know what it was. All of these, except for the earned value, are automatically, it's 2%. Once you're approved, it's 2% postage off your postage as soon as you send out the campaign. The earned value, just so you know, is a little different because you actually accrue credit for that. So it's done after the fact. You earn credit and then it's paid on the next mailing that you do on that business reply, courtesy reply category. But all the other promotions, you get 2% upfront postage discount. So, and I also want to make note too, that would be of interest to this crowd. USPS Next Generation campaign is held annually. That is wrapping up, I think, or it's close to wrapping up. Each year we award several categories for unique direct mail pieces, and those individual award winners are presented in at our national conference, the National Postal Forum, which was supposed to be held at the end of this month in Orlando, Florida. The next one's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee for 2021. And you can enter unique mailing pieces to the USPS Next Generation campaign and try and win an award. I mean, it is a really highly regarded, well-recognized reward within the mailing industry. So that's something to shoot for as well.
What is the window for entry? Mailed within what time frame would be eligible?
You know, I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. I apologize. I'll find that out and give that to Terry and Jill so they can find out, give you a timeline on that. I want to say I know that 2021's opened up because, like I said, the last week of April was going to be a meeting at our national conference down in Orlando, Florida. I should say it's the National Postal Forum because it's not just the post office. It's about any mailing related industry. We have over 4,000 people come in for the conference, and it's people from, you know, Pitney Bowes, it's people, printers come in, mail service operators. It's a very, very large national conference. In fact, I'm told it's one of the top 10 in the country as far as size and scope. So the award recipients are brought in and given their awards at that time for that campaign. And I know the 2021 one, if it hasn't opened up already, it will soon. I'm thinking it may be in like the May timeframe, but I'll find that out and get that information back through to you. Okay.
Hey, Dan, it's Jill. I just have a couple of questions for you. On that tactile sensory promotion, obviously we're paper materials experts and printers, the same as well, and with coatings and different, you know, print techniques like embossing, debossing, die cutting. What other, I mean, I'm assuming those pressure-based print techniques like embossing, die cutting, debossing, letterpress, do those all qualify for that tactile sensory promotion?
I will say, give you a broad stroke answer and say yes, but you know, until you actually lay out exactly what you want to do and submit it, I don't have final approval on it. Sure. I've had some customers I submitted for a trade association, a piece last year that I thought would be, just because of the die cutting and folding, would have qualified, and it got rejected. So it's kind of up to the individual program committee to decide what's going to be accepted and what's not. I will share with you, I think I shared with you and Terry a couple of days ago when we were meeting to put everything together, that you go back 2-3 years ago and it was a little more lenient. It's being tightened up, the restrictions a little more. QR codes by themselves, just launching a video or connecting to a website, don't cut it anymore. Those aren't considered qualified, you know, to incorporate into a mail piece.
All right, Dan, it's Terry. So along those lines, the process for that approval, would you just need a design concept? Because people aren't going to go forward with their design and getting it printed until they know that it qualifies. Correct. If that's a factor, right?
You're right. Yeah, it's just a design concept.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to furnish a live printed sample piece. No.
You never know.
Yep, you never. I've heard crazy requests like that.
And Dan, I'm just curious, out of these promotions, a lot of these are carryover from 2019, correct?
Correct. The newer ones are, informed delivery was new last year, and this year, the new ones, well, there's new subcategories, I should say, not the general ones, but the specialty papers has been broadened. The interactive mail pieces have been broadened. Even the specialty inks has been broadened somewhat, because they used to have the pisochromic and hydrochromic, but they actually added a couple more with the optical variable ink, which is a new technology. So that's new. So a couple of new tweaks have been added.
Cool. And I'm just curious, I don't know if you know the answer to this. Is there any one of these that gets more, I guess, gets more play or more exposure in terms of being taken advantage of? I'm just curious if
You mean the most commonly used promotions?
Yes.
Probably the emerging and advanced technology promotion. Yeah, linking digital to a lot of that. And I mean, there's been some award winners. Obviously, each category has winners in it. There's been some tactile sensory with the scratch and sniff and that type of thing. But yeah, by far, those two are the most popular. Second, third only to the earned value promotion, because obviously there's a lot of national mailers that do business reply mail and courtesy reply mail, and they take advantage of those in large sums. So
we did have one question that your answer just reminded me of. And I know you addressed the minimums. Is that the same for nonprofits and businesses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good question. I've actually had nonprofits, a lot of nonprofits have taken advantage of the informed delivery promotion.
Good to know. Yeah, there's some really cool comments in the group chat, so I would encourage you guys to look through it. I know Tammy Caserta was kind enough to share that she says, we have multi-channel marketing product called Mail 360 that combines informed delivery, social match, tracking, and Google. I mean, that sounds amazing to me. And I guess what I would like to put out to the group, because we have so many really innovative and creative people, you know, that we work with. And we would love to be able to see some of these projects. You know, if there's an opportunity for us to do buy-ins, we would love to kind of see what those look like. Obviously, we want to continue to educate and inform and kind of, you know, just help share and inspire what's happening in our footprint, because I think we have some amazing talent. And I know I get better the more I see and the more that's shared. So we kind of want to continue that sharing of inspiration and education.
Good. Are there any other questions, general questions that I can help answer from the crowd? Everybody's so quiet today. It's Thursday, it's not even Friday. Well, as I said, Terry and Jill and Susan are going to send out a packet with the videos in it, with the calendar and some other information to all of you. And I think hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of some of the postal discounts with some of your clients and customers, and take advantage of that. And that's what they're there for business, for our business customers. So with that, Terry, I'll turn it back over to you and Jill. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dan. We really appreciate it. If anybody has further questions, feel free to reach out. If I don't have the answers, we'll certainly get Dan on board to answer those. So look forward to our next meetup next week. Thank you.
Thank you.